before Swaminiji, I open the floor to you. Let me briefly introduce Swaminiji for the benefit of the audience. Swaminiji, just a second. Yeah. So Swaminiji will be speaking today in the inaugural address on the topic Cultivating Shraddha and Bhakti for Spiritual Growth and Emotional Maturity. Swaminiji is Acharya of Arsha Vigyana Gurukulam, Eugene. She is a long-term discipline of Puja Swami Dayananda Saraswati Ji. She is a prolific speaker and writer on Vedanta and tours all over the world offering webinars and discourses on self-knowledge gained from study of Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. Swaminiji is the Acharya of Arsha Vigyana Gurukulam based in Eugene. She is the author of Freedom from Distrust and Despair and another book, Overcoming Self-Sabotage in Self-Knowledge. She is the member of Global Peace Initiative of Women, an interfaith organization dedicated to world peace and harmony. She is also the president and convener of Arsha Shakti, a brand new global foundation for women's empowerment and liberation that is in the process of being incorporated in USA and as well as in India. We are very fortunate to have you today, Swaminiji, among us, and we are eager to listen to your talk. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Nitin, very much for all the work that you are doing for this conference and others like it. And thanks to Hari Kiran ji also for the very impassioned address. And it is always a joy to be associated with INDICA in whatever capacity. And it is a joy partly because INDICA, as I see, it's always on the cutting edge of all the trends in the Adhyatma field. So I'm very, very happy to spend some time with all of you today and to share whatever has been learnt from my Guru, because that is all what we can do. The Keno Upanishad also says, the Guru in the Keno Upanishad says, Yenastad vyachachakshire. We can only teach what we have been taught. And that is the spirit in which the whole Vedic spirituality, that is the petrol upon which the Vedic spirituality runs. And that is how I will just give a very broad address based on the topic itself of today's symposium, and also based on some of the points that Hari Kiran ji raised about the distinct place that is occupied by Vedic spirituality, whatever we have understood about it up till now, and why this is something to stop and take note of. This is how we will just sort of have some broad brush strokes, which is, I think, the point of an address of this kind, and then other things can be explored later on. So first is the distinguishing feature, the primary distinguishing feature between most of the what we call organized religions and traditions like the Sanatana Dharma, the Hindu Dharma, is, according to what we have seen, is this: the other traditions, for most organized religions, the dominant religions, the predominant theologies, the point of life, the main point of life is ... afterlife. That is what the whole thing is. The whole life is focused on afterlife, and so it leads to some very for those who are defining themselves as spiritual but not religious, it's very understandable, because it leads to some very important questions. The first question is, if the point of life is afterlife, what is this life? Is it a bus stop? I'm waiting to catch a bus. And so the bus to afterlife, I'm waiting to catch. Then I have to just stand here. And so what is the meaning and purpose of here and now? That is what we have to understand. And this is the predominant path, divergence between the organized religions of this that are prevalent in the world today, and the Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma, whatever you want to call it, Vedika Dharma, however you want to call it. These are all more or less synonyms. And so this is the primary characteristic of Vedic spirituality, to use the title of the conference, of the symposium. The primary hallmark is that the ultimate goal of life for us is not afterlife. It cannot be. How can it be afterlife? Then the whole life, this life is a waste. It is gone. Where is the enthusiasm to accomplish anything? Where, for that matter, where is the enthusiasm to get out of bed? Come out from under the covers? What is the purpose of that? If the whole life is some afterlife, which I don't know where it is, and which I don't know how to access, and that afterlife, mind you, is all based on belief, that one survives death. It's a non-verifiable belief that if one has been good or whatever it is, if one has had a series of beliefs during one's lifetime, that one will go to a certain place called heaven. That's another non-verifiable belief. We don't have any, we have foreign returned people, but we don't have any heaven returned people to tell us the tales of what it is like. Then that once I go to heaven, let's say I drop this body and then I have been good, or I have believed that some Messiah has saved me, and then I go to afterlife, and then in that afterlife, that heaven, I will like it there. That is also another non-verifiable belief. And that this heaven is outside of me, because it cannot be accessed by me as long as I'm alive, and as long as I'm embodied, it cannot be accessed by me. So then what is it? It is outside of me. And then that which is outside of me is permanent, another non-verifiable, and in my mind, a very difficult to swallow belief. Very difficult to swallow. If it is outside of me, how can it be limitless? How can it be permanent? Because that, that is just physically, rationally not possible. Just think about it, because I don't have the time to unpack all this, because I would like to cover a few other things. But if it is limitless, if that limitlessness is what we call ananta, satyam jnanam anantam, Hariji mentioned. So what we call ananta, limitless, is heaven. How can this limitless be away from you? Think about it. If it does not include you, it cannot be technically defined as limitless at all. So this is the first place of divergence. For us, that which is to be achieved in this life is right here, right now. There is a goal that is to be achieved. That is the first premise of Vedika Dharma. Number one. Number two, that goal cannot be something that is belief-based. Because if it's belief-based, then I have the freedom to believe or not to believe. And if I don't believe, that's also a belief. Because that's how it's non-verifiable. So it is not belief-based. The ultimate goal of human life is not something belief-based that I have to follow, that I have to understand, that I have to somehow believe in, and then I will somehow get it. No. The ultimate goal of life is in keeping with your deepest and the most poignant yearning. And if we unpack this yearning, we will call it by many names. Some people say happiness. Some people call it shanti, peace of mind. I'm sick of conflict. I want some cessation of conflict. And those who are philosophically minded, they will say, I want cessation of longing, because as long as there is longing, there is a sense of restlessness. So whether you call it happiness, whether you call it shanti, peace, whether you call it freedom from restlessness, or sometimes it is called freedom from samsara. What is samsara? A life of keeping on becoming. keeping on becoming something or the other, striving for validation, striving for acceptance, striving to become something and to be somebody in the world, striving to be known, striving to become famous, striving to keep on accumulating something or the other in order to feel and be more and more, become more and more acceptable. And what is moksha? Moksha is the final, quote unquote, striving to stop striving. That is moksha. Moksha is freedom from striving, freedom from becoming, freedom from finitude. And because all the striving is why? Because one is insecure. Because there is a sense of insecurity centered on the self, that is why there is this striving. That is why there is this great rush to gain something, to matter, to leave a legacy, to do something. That is why the restlessness, that is why the pursuits, so many pursuits. But all these pursuits are just behind all these pursuits is hiding only one singular pursuit. I want to be acceptable to myself. I want to be happy regardless of what I have, what I don't have, regardless of who is there around me and who is not there. I want to have freedom from this dependency called samsara. And in fact, when one thinks about it, samsara is basically some sorrow or another. That is what it is. Series of, and that's what is makes one a samsari, subject to samsara, very, very sorry. So regardless of whether it is Vishishta, Advaita, Advaita, Dvaita, etc., the word samsara is very well understood. And that it is that the stopping from that striving is what is sought, is also very well understood. And this is why this is what makes the Sanatana Dharma, the Hindu Dharma, stand out. Because what is to be achieved is here and now. And I also said it is not belief based, because it is the longing is based on one's own experiences of non acceptability and of being troubled by a series of wants, which as long as they are fulfilled, they don't keep quiet, they morph into other wants. Like that demon in the Devi Mahatmya, there is one Rakta Bijasura is there. You had to kill him. He had to be killed without dropping one drop of blood on the ground, because as soon as one drop of blood fell on the ground, he would clone himself into 1,000 asuras. That's what he is, the embodiment of meaningless desires. Meaningless and binding desires that make one dependent upon them for one's sense of self. That is what plagues one. That is what is the problem. And this problem has, since it is immediately felt, it is just like hunger. It is just like, it is a basic human need. It is just like hunger, the need for clothes. Roti, kapda, makan, like we say, the need for clothes, food, and air. This is exactly on the same plane lies moksha, the desire to be free from all kinds of nonsensical binding longings. Why? Because it's an uncultivated desire. It's not like cable TV where you see it in somebody's house and then you want it for yourself. It's not like some some desire for a new laptop which is there in the market. No. This is a desire that is as uncultivated as the baby's need for food, clothing, and warm place, and air, water, food, just like that. And it is recognized. That's why it is not belief based, because I recognize this moksha. When? In sleep. Where is the longing? In sleep. Where is the disappointment? In sleep. Where is the self-loath? In sleep. Where is the self-judgment and self-critique? In sleep. Not there. In fact, when you wake up and stretch, that's when the self-critique and the self-judgment also stretches with you and also plagues you. This is exactly what the thing is. So one has moksha, one can say every night, but it is a moksha that one cannot really fully enjoy because the mind is in a causal state and the mind is not able to be awakened to the glory of the self. So this is why moksha is not a belief, because I sense that I want it and I know what it is like. And even when I'm awake, in those moments where the subject object fusion takes place, like imagine eating a piece of chocolate cake or whatever your whatever your favorite food is. First, there is Ishtavastu Darshanam. You look at something, there is a smile. And then the person who brought it says, no, 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 this chocolate cake is for you. Then Ishtavastu Prapti. And oh, really, it's for me. The smile gets bigger. And then you wait for them to leave. Better to wait for them to leave, because otherwise you have to share it with them. So after they leave, you sit down to attack this, and then you become one with the cake or the object of delight. This is that becoming that oneness, the subject object fusion. When it takes place, whenever it takes place, that is that ananda. And that, so it is experienced. It is totally experienced. Whether you're having chocolate cake or mocha, even mocha is a manifestation of a kind of a moksha. But the only problem is it is finite and it is elusive. As soon as the cake is over, then then there is a ache. There is a ache for another cake. That is basically what the problem is. But one is familiar with what this moksha is. Moksha means freedom, freedom from wanting this oneness all the time, the subject object fusion, whether it's with an object, an event, an organization, or with another person, like in a close friendship or marriage, etc. This is what the longing is. So one knows this is not belief based. This is totally experiential. The only problem is the daily moksha that one has. It suffers from finitude. Here today, gone today, and it is also subject to the vagaries of other people and the availability of that object and my own mood, my own emotional mood to enjoy the object. So supposing if you give me a chocolate cake and I've had bad news, suffered some loss or something like that, then the one will not be in the mood to enjoy it. Or let's say you give me a chocolate cake when I have a stomach upset, I'll say, please take it away. The sight of it is making me sick. So all these things have to come into place in order for this subject, this so-called accidental subject-object fusion to take place. But then moksha is that where it is not dependent on the mood, on the preparation of one's body, or on the availability of the object of desire. And it is basically you. This is the second thing about moksha. Again, if it is away from you, it cannot be limitless. It cannot be forever. So it is there, you are already what you seek. This is the first premise of Vedic spirituality. You are already what you seek. Oh, I already am a Mukta Purusha. Yes, you are free. Then why am I having these problems? Okay, that means there is something in the way. And what is in the way? Ajnana. Atma Ajnana. Self-ignorance is in the way. It is just like not knowing who I am. And not knowing who I am is the first mistake. It's called Atma Ajnanam. And that leads to the second mistake, Anyatha Jnanam. I take myself to be a sitting duck, for all kinds of misapprehensions about who I am. The I, the Atma, becomes a sitting duck for all kinds of misunderstanding. It's just like the stock example we have, Rajju Sarpa. There is a snake you see at twilight and you get very frightened. Fortunately, you have your cell phone with you, and then what do? You turn on the flashlight. Oh, simply I screamed. Wow, what is it? It's just a rope lying in three bends in the dark. And not quite dark, twilight. Same thing with the I. The Atma is known. Of course, it is known. If I ask you a question, are you here? You will not say, let me think and get back to you tomorrow. You will say, I am here. Yes, I am here. What makes you say that? Without even consulting the significant other, you're able to tell me you are here. This is wonderful. And then don't ask the next question, who am I? That is where the problem is. The Atma is self-evident. I know I am, but I do not know the full glory of the I. And therefore, I take the I to be what it is not, finite, subject to sorrow, subject to pain, subject to longings, subject to all kinds of problems, anger, fear, etc. This is what I take myself to be. And this, so therefore, the quest here is not to run after some moksha somewhere. The quest is to discover oneself as already free. And that is exactly the program, the paths that Hari Kiranji was talking about in Vedic spirituality. And so, two paths are primarily described in the Upanishads, and then this was later on made into four by people like Swami Vivekananda, etc. But the original two paths described in the Ishavasya Upanishad and reiterated in the Bhagavad Gita is that either you drop everything. When you understand that whatever you are seeking is the finite, but you want to discover yourself as the infinite, then you can be perhaps ready to drop all other seeking and seek this knowledge instead. Or if you say that's too drastic a path, then I just want to continue having my life and slowly get ready for the knowledge that is also there. The first one is called Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga, not to be confused with Sankhya Darshanam. And then the second one is called Karma Yoga. And then the ingredient that is common to both these paths, those ingredients are there to are devices to open the heart. To open the heart, to first to discover and then revel, rejoice in one's own glory. That is what is Shraddha and Bhakti. Shraddha means it is wrongly defined as faith or belief, but it's not a belief like I believe in God or whatever the concept of God might be. Shraddha means the giving the Vedas, Vedanta, the benefit of doubt. Because it is showing me something. The Veda is a pair of glasses which helps me to see in my blind spots that I am already what I seek. That is Veda, that is Vedanta. That is what it is. So I have to be open to what is being said. But generally one is not open. Everybody is a know-it-all. Somebody asked me at an interfaith conference, "Oh, do you have a pontiff?" I said, "Every grandma in India is a pontiff. Every grandpa is a pontiff. They can pontificate about this tradition to no end, because it is what is received by osmosis. So we don't have any big pope or pontiff. Everybody is a pontiff." And so with that idea, if I go, what should I say, wet my feet in the waters of Vedic spirituality and the pursuit of moksha, with this kind of an attitude, I already know it will not bless. It will not bless. attitude has to be one of the person whose head is on fire, and the person is looking for a water source, and somebody says, come with me, there is a lake over there. And then you don't even know this person, it's a stranger, but you completely give yourself to the stranger because of the urgency of this pursuit of wanting to douse the head in water, the head that is on fire in water. You follow the person. Same, that is Shraddha. That same attitude is given to the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the sources of the knowledge, which are a new pair of eyes with which to look at my life. Then, because those bodies of knowledge do not speak on their own, they are brought to life. They are brought to life and made pertinent in every age, at every stage, for every jiva. Therefore, that source that brings these articles of the Upanishad, the chapters of the Bhagavad Gita to life, and then makes a wonderful dish for you to eat and dishes it out in a way it is palatable to you, and to that source, which is the teacher, the guru, also there is given the benefit of doubt. Yes, I can't see that I'm already free. I can't see that I am the whole. I can't see the vision of the Upanishad that I am this consciousness, which is the essence of this body-mind complex and the jiva. I can't see that. But you can see that. And then right now I'm going to trust that you will also make me see that. That is the guru in the tradition. The guru in the tradition is not some kind of a god man, self-styled god man or god woman, whatever it is. In fact, there is no self-styling at all. Such people are shunned in the tradition. For us, a guru is somebody who has gone through the removal of his own, her own ignorance from his guru, her guru. The guru is one who has doused his or her head in the fire that we talk about, and then has been blessed with the ability to carry the words of the lineage. Therefore, the parampara, the sampradaya is very, very important. A sound lineage that does not distort the words of the Upanishad to make it to whatever one wants. And that which is able to, the one who is able to make you see. It's not some kind of a god man or god woman. Everybody come and I am God, but you are not. No, that's not the vision. The vision is that there is no subject-object difference. The subject-object difference is basically an apparent reality. An apparent reality, there is a vista point bigger and that which transcends this reality. And that transcendental reality and that ultimate reality is that you are one with everything. You are non-separate from the Jagat. You are non-separate from the Karta of the Jagat. You are non-separate from that which we call the whole. You are one with everything. In fact, you are everything. There is nothing other than you. Where is the sorrow in this? Where is the anger? Where is the pain? It is just not there. But it is not this is not like dipping the big toe in the waters of Vedanta. This is a systematic study. This is a systematic study. This is a study that is extremely important. And it is not a one-time dipping the toe and then running away because the water is too cold. It is learning to open the heart, the same heart that was shut down at age 4. But why was my heart shut down at age 4? Everybody's heart is shut down at age 4, not just you. Everybody. This is what psychology tells us. Because in the beginning, the helpless child has full Shraddha, trusts, full Bhakti towards its primary caregivers. Full Shraddha, full Bhakti. It depends on the parents for everything. It cannot express itself whether it is hungry, angry, or needs a nappy change or needs to go to sleep. It cannot express. It just cries. And somehow the parents have to see what it wants and see what it needs. And therefore this is not in the beginning the child idolizes its parents, thinks of them as Bhagavan. Mother is creatrix, father is creator. Oh my God, they can walk, they can talk, I can hardly even roll over. This is what the child thinks. And later on, the discrepancies come to light. The mother inconsistent, father unreliable. They tell the child to say, speak the truth. Themselves, they are lying all the time. They don't speak the truth. So all these discrepancies and inconsistencies. And sometimes it is even worse. So there's all kinds of difficulties the parents themselves have, and then they are not able to parent properly. So the child develops a calloused heart. It's not able to do that. It's not able to overcome this. It distrusts naturally. This is given for its own protection. Because it suddenly sees that these primary caregivers are actually primary scaregivers. They are making me frightened. They are so inconsistent. I love you, but be frightened of me. I love you, therefore sit down. There is no unconditional love. And all this the child sees and is disillusioned. Disillusioned adult, disenchanted person, one life gone, another life gone. This is how we have been living. Where is the place, where is the interruption? The interruption of this is when one dares to trust again. You can't trust, you can't put your trust in another fallible being. Therefore the trust is directed towards the infallible in the tradition. And that infallible is Bhagavan. We don't say Bhagavan is infallible, Ishvara is infallible. If I say that, it's a setup. But if I turn it around, that which is infallible is Ishvara, is God, then it's wonderful. Because I learn to accept whatever I cannot change, because it is a manifestation of the infallible. And knowing this infallible as myself is moksha. And that cannot happen on one's own. There is no DIY Vedic spirituality. It is definitely tradition based, teacher based, and text based. These three things are extremely important. I have just given a broad understanding, and so we can pick up these themes later. Thank you again for the opportunity for giving me for this opportunity to give me this chance to share some things with you. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you very much, Swami.
Thank you very much, Swaminiji, for laying out very clarification on the very terms that we all use, such as Shraddha, Bhakti, and this is a very important clarification, and on that the other presentations will be building up. Thank you very much, Swaminiji.
Thank you. Om Tat Sat.